Hey everyone, I'm going to go through the notes for this week with factoring trinomials. Please watch the first one just to kind of show you the trends as you're multiplying two binomials, because it's going to help you determine your factors for the trinomials. As I am going to reference that as we go through, and I'll make a little note on the video as well. Alright, so factoring trinomials. Okay, so if you watched the last video, you'll notice that with the trinomials that we were dealing with, you have factors where it is x plus some number, x plus some number, at least when they're both positive. This could be a subtraction symbol depending on your terms. You'll have some factor, we'll call that factor 1, and some factor 2, and those are factors of your C. For this lesson, we're going to deal with A only equaling 1, so that means that you'll see terms of this nature throughout each problem. And what I want you to spend some special focus on is that, at least though, observing the signs in front of your second and third term to help you determine the signs of your factors as well. Writing here or in the factor tree as we go through this. So for the first one, we have two positives for our term, so that means then our factors are also going to be positive, so our answer will be in terms of x plus some number times x plus some number. Now, how do we figure that out? Well, we need to look at our last term, because if you remember foiling, your last term is the last two of your binomials being multiplied together. So we need to think of what are some factors of 15. Well, we have 1 times 15 and 3 times 5. Then looking at our outer and inner, we know the sum of those two gives us our second term in our quadratic trinomial. So we need to ask ourselves then, is 1 plus 15 going to give us 8? Nope. 1 plus 15 is going to give us 16. And then 3 plus 5 will give us 8. So then our factors for this trinomial will be x plus 3 times x plus 5. And if you would like to check your answer, you then just multiply your two factors to see if you get the same as the question that you were given. So if you were asked to factor this, this should be what our answer looks like after we multiply. So x times x, x squared, that's not, and then 3 times x, 3x, x times 5, 5x, 3 times 5, 15, 3x plus 5x is going to be 8x, so x squared plus 8x plus 15. Does this match up? It does, so our factors are good. So this would be our answer. Alright, next one. We have, where they're asking us to factor out c squared minus 9c plus 20. Now, if you watched the last video, you'll remember that, so when we're multiplying two binomials, we'll have, oh, whoops, we are not dealing with x, we are dealing with c. So our first term will always be whatever the variable is, c, because c times c is c squared. Now we have a negative on our second term, a positive for our third term. So we have to ask ourselves, if our last two factors, last two terms are being multiplied together and they're positive, Positive times a positive is a positive, but a negative times a negative is a positive as well. So that's why we need to look at our second term, because we have a negative on our second term. That means then our last two will be negative values, because a negative plus a negative gives us a negative. So what are our factors of 20? Well, we have -1 times -20. We add those together, do we get -9? No, we get -21. We can try -2 times -10. If we add those together, we get -12. And then if we do -3, we can't multiply anything to get 20, so but we can do -4 times -5, and if we add those together, we get -9. So then our factors for this trinomial will be c minus 4, c minus 5, and it doesn't matter this order. You could have put c minus 5 over here and c minus 4 over here. You'll still get the same thing. And just to check, c times c, oh, whoops, let's just c squared, c times -5, -5c, -4 times c, c, -4 times -5, positive 20. Remember to add those inner. C squared minus 9c plus 20. So again, notice because our last terms are both negative, we get a positive third term. Our last terms and our factors are negative. We get a positive last term in our trinomial and a negative second term in our trinomial. It's just the adding of those terms. The next one, we have a positive and a positive. So then if we were to have this type of setup, we could write it down here. So we're looking for something that when they multiply together we get, oh, that doesn't work. Multiply together we get something that multiplies to be 10, but adds to be 7. They're both positive, so that means then our factors are going to be positive. So g plus something times g plus something. Let's find out what these factors are going to be. So our factors of 10 are 1 and 10. But if we add those together, we get 11. We also have 2 times 5. And if we add those, we get 7. So our factors are 2 and 5. This would be our answer. On the next one, positive, 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 positive. I highlighted those ahead of time because I will do this one with you, and then I want you to pause and do number 5 on your own, and then check the answer. So for number 4, we're looking for something that are the factors of 20, but add up to be 21. So factors of 20, we have 1 times 20, and if we add those, we get 21. So luckily enough, there's our answer right there. They're both positive, so that means then it's going to be v plus 1 or v plus 20 times v plus whatever was left. So if you use 20 first and then 1 over here, or 1 and 20, either of these will be for the same answer. Right, for the next one, I want you to pause after you write this portion down. So we're looking for something that has factors of 30 but add up to be 13. And then I want you to find out what your factors are. Go ahead and pause and then come back. So our factors of 30, 1 times 30. Add those together, you get 31, so not that one. You get 2 times 15 gives us 30. If you add those, you get 17. And you have 3 times 10. If you add those together, you get 13. So we have our answer. So we have A plus 3, A plus 10. If you have those flip-flopped, that's fine as well. That's your answer. Now go down to the next one. So you have a negative, positive. So we're looking for factors of 25 that add up to be negative 10. So both of our factors are going to be negative because we have a positive third term. Negative times a negative is going to be a positive, so we'll have negative 1 times negative 25. If we add those together, we get negative 26, not that one. We also have negative 5 times negative 5. Negative 5 times negative, plus negative 5 is going to be negative 10. So we got our answer for our factors. It's going to be k minus 5, k minus 5. You may also see this answer written as k minus 5 squared. So you may see either one of these. More often than not, you will probably see it as this. But I want to write both of those just so you at least see it once. So then for our seventh one, notice we have a negative second term and a positive third term. So that means then we're dealing with double negatives for our factors. So we need to find factors of 18. That when added together, you get as negative 11. So factors of 18 we have that are negative, we have negative 1 times negative 18. Add those together, you get negative 19. You have negative 2 times negative 9. Add those together, and you get negative 11. So we got our factors. Write them. So we got x minus 2 or x minus 9 first, and then x minus whichever one you didn't write yet. And here's our answer. On the next one, I'd like you to pause and then check your answer on this. So give yourself a second. And then we're going to be looking for factors of 36 that when added together give us negative 15. So since the signs are different, you know that they're going to both be negative. So factors of 36 that are negative, we have negative 1 times negative 36. If you add those together, you get negative 37. You also have negative 2 times negative 18. If you add those together, you get negative 20. We also have negative 3 times negative 12, and if you add those together, you get negative 15. So we got our factors. So you have q minus 3 times q minus 12. I'm going to stop here and then start the next video in a moment because that one's going to be a little bit more challenging since we're dealing with different signs for our factors. And that will be a separate video later today. Hopefully this helped. If not, if you have any more questions, feel free to email me. I hope you're doing well. I miss y'all. Talk to you later.